Okay guys, I'm going to bring something else to you here. Sorry if there's a glare, but I was digging into the Pennsylvania State Collections and Disbursement Unit, otherwise known as PASCDU, who is the central unit that collects child support. And I found this contract on the e-library, which is a site that I shared with you guys before. As you can see, it's the Pennsylvania Treasury list. But if you notice right here, ACS State and Local Solutions Inc. is who they've contracted to perform the PASCDU functions. They're owned by Xerox. So I did some more digging and I found a legislative report on Pennsylvania SCDU. And I'm going to go to the top here and show you that this is what it is. It has to do with Child Support Statewide Collections and Disbursement Unit. I found some really interesting stuff here. I want you to see this highlighted section which I started out on and show you that in April of 1999, the department contracted with Lockheed Martin to assist in collecting and disbursing child support payments and serve as the federally required SDU. Now, prior to the federal mandate, Lockheed had been involved in collection and disbursement programs in New York and Wisconsin. DPW, which is Department of Public Welfare, also chose Lockheed because of its familiarity with Pennsylvania's Child Support Enforcement System, PACSES, the federally required automated Title 4D program enforcement system with Lockheed, and Lockheed designed it. So, and I want you to see this highlighted section up here. It says, now listen, confronted with the possible loss of significant federal TANF funds, the Commonwealth enacted an Act 1997-58 authorizing Department of Public Welfare to establish and operate a SDU consistent with federal law. The purpose for enacting it was so they wouldn't lose federal TANF funds, which are block grants from the government, from the United States, which is why they're operating it. And then there's in two places this same language is used. This is on page 6 of the PDF, which is marked page 4 on the actual paper. And it says mandatory cases include individuals receiving temporary assistance for needy families and cases where federal funds are used to serve children in foster care. So that indicates that mandatory cases are welfare-based. Voluntary cases include those individuals who directly apply for child support services available through the Title 4D program. Non-Title 4D cases include all support orders issued in the state after January 1st, 1994, which involve wage withholding. Okay, I don't know how many of you have applied for child support services, but I did not apply for any services. So I don't know how I'm subject to this stuff, which is more evidence to present when you're either doing a lawsuit or taking your petition for impeachment. Now I'm going to roll down to page 28 on this, where it says basically the same thing. Mandatory 4D cases. The Act authorizes the use of federal funds to partially reimburse states for activities carried out under Title 4D plans. It permits a state agency designated to administer the program to enter into cooperative agreements with appropriate courts and other entities to assist the state in carrying out the plan. In Pennsylvania, the Department of Public Welfare administers the Commonwealth program. But we all know that the courts are acting in conjunction, which is a violation of separation of powers, because the Department of Public Welfare is an executive agency. Now we have Title 4D, part of the Social Security Act, addresses 3 different types of cases: mandatory, voluntary, and non-Title 4D cases. Mandatory cases include individuals receiving temporary assistance for needy families, same as before. Such cases must participate in the Title 40 program as a condition of TANF eligibility. The mandatory cases also include cases where federal funds are used to serve children in foster care. The voluntary Title 40 cases include those individuals who directly apply for services. I didn't directly apply. Did you? And this is part of where I found some of the contract stuff for SCDU, just more crap. So, if you want to dig into this stuff, go for it. But here you go. They're doing it for federal incentives. They admit it in multiple places. This legislative audit here on page 6, like I said, Legislative Budget and Finance Committee performance audit, and they admit on page 4 or 6, depending on how you're looking at it, that the reason for doing it is so they didn't lose their TANF payments. Confronted with the possible loss of significant federal TANF funds. Right there's an admission. Use it.